Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at something different. Today we're going to be looking at this right here, in this very big box. Let me get that out of the way. So, inside of this really big case here, that's a nice looking case. Open that up. You got the manual right here. You have a USB-C to C, which you can use for audio and charging. And then you have the units themselves, which we're going to take out of this nice big case. You get a little manual here. The packaging, I don't know what the packaging is going to look like for this. They're being sold, but they're basically up on Kickstarter right now. So we'll put that aside and get rid of that message. And let's take a look at the units themselves. Add some light over here. So this is the gunmetal version. It's got this nice gray padded cloth here. Nice stitching, invisible. And cloth, really comfortable cloth grips. You heard that noise, that is this. This is a volume up and down and everything. It's actually a physical button, this whole earpiece. This side would be where the tube amplifier is. So this is the Ēcoute audio, and this is the first wireless pair of headphones with a built-in tube amplifier. And you see there's venting on the bottom. You might have seen these up on there with a different, they've gone through different iterations. There was a different one with like a bar that went like this, and this was leather. I think this is the final one that they have. And you see down here you have an aux port, you have a USB-C port on that side. You have all your buttons right there. And I think the middle is the power button. Yeah. So there it is. There's your tube amplifier there. I would have liked it if it was RGB, like if it changed different colors and everything. Very comfortable pads, spacious inside, you know, not the biggest for ears, but I can like fit all fingers in there. So maybe people with big ears, because round ones don't usually fit people with larger, like oval ears. There would be some touching, but they are comfortable pads, and they're made out of a cloth and memory foam, so they should be fairly durable for a long period of time. There's a good adjustment. Now this size is the bigger size. It will come in two different sizes, but it's a really nice looking overall unit. And I'm going to turn it this way so I can get these. There's your lights indicator and your nice blue light up tube amplifier to let you know what it's on. Now you can use these wired, or you can use these with the amplifier on. You can use these USB-C with the amplifier on as well. You can use these without it on, just through the aux port. Or of course you can use these Bluetooth. These support a large variety of things, so I'm going to look through here. Vacuum tube preamp increases gain and clarifies the mid-range where our ears are most sensitive. Dual mono integrated amplifier creates a better channel separation. This combination completely changes the presentation of your music. That's all like from them, not from me. So let's see, people like it. Sounds like vinyl. I've never heard this on headphones before. There's a lot. And this is the guy, the leather pair is shown there. I would have liked it better if it was leather, to be honest. I know that that's more durable, but like those type of pads I usually have on like gaming. Things you're going to wear for like ridiculously long time. And I guess that is a good thing. So these do have LDAC for Android and AAC for Apple devices, or LC3 for CD quality listening and Wi-Fi like range supported devices. Digital Listen to digital audio sources via USB-C input and lossless high resolution up to 32-bit 384 kilohertz processing. That's through using the C. The wireless, you have LDAC, and analog, you have the 3.5. You can listen to whatever you need to know. Port, including a 2 VRMS line level output from a phono preamp. So let's see. Fill out the sound and add warmth to digital audio. That's all stuff from the source. If you can see up here, here would be the two different types of models. Here's the one that I have, and here's the other one, which is a little smaller for just regular size people that don't have giant melons. They are priced at $6.99 right now, US dollars. So you can purchase these even though they are on Kickstarter. And we'll leave a link down below for that. I would have liked better specs. Here's a look at what they were going to look like before. They've changed just a little bit. Trying to get you the specs here. I apologize, I am so thirsty right now. I haven't been feeling well. Okay, now we're getting into the... so there's a Korg NewTube 6P1 in here. It says, despite not looking like a traditional vacuum tube your grandfather would recognize, NewTube's anode grid filament structure operates exactly the same as a conventional vacuum tube. The P61 has all the characteristics of the finest single-ended triodes used in high-end hi-fi systems and produces luxury and realistic listening experience. Runs cool, consumes very little power, only 2% of conventional tube, shock-resistant, durable, and long-lasting, functioning in excess of 30,000 hours. Sounds like a rack system. Let's see, the DAC is a Realtek ALC 4050 with a 32-bit 384 kilohertz digital to analog converter in it. Drivers are custom 4mm cellulose fiber. Impedance is 10 ohms, dynamic range 100 decibels. Wireless Bluetooth 5.3 supporting aptX X adaptive, LL, LDAC, and ACC range 33 feet, 10 meters. And like I said, it's got a 3.5 millimeter and a USB-C. Charging is via USB-C. Audio is also via USB-C. About 20 hours of listening time with the tube on. Auto pairing memory for up to 2 devices. Active noise cancellation with the firmware upgrade. I have the update. I use the ANC. The ANC is pretty good. It really is pretty good. Telephonics. The phone calls wasn't the greatest for the phone calls, to be quite honest. For phone calls, they sounded far away, and I wouldn't buy this just for the phone calls. They can easily fix that with an update, and I hope that they will do that eventually. But for me on Android, it did sound like it was further away. I had to turn the volume up quite a bit. Premium material, satin finished all aluminum body, and armature that is durable and beautiful. Replaceable ear pads made out of cool memory foam. So see, now I wonder why they look like gaming, because they are like gaming pads. So they should be good for harder environments. We use wireless. And that's basically the specs. And you have the satin aluminum, which it has the nice brown. And then you have the one that I have, which they call gunmetal. And this looks a little different than the original design. It was like almost like black with leather pads and that. And for some reason they dropped the leather pads. So there's a Kickstarter special for this for $4.49. And $3.99. These are all Kickstarter specials. The regular price on their website is $6 something. So that puts these in Focal Bathy's territory, which Focal Bathy's, as you know, is like the best wireless headphones out on the market right now. So let's talk about the sound on these. Okay, The accessories, you get the C. You do not get a 3.5, or at least I didn't, in this box. You get a nice case. It's big, roomy. You get a USB C to C cable, which is a good quality cable. You do have to pay extra for a 3.5. They have different versions. Some are like more fancier. So I don't know. I think that should have been included in the case. But besides that, I have plenty of good 3.5s. So sound-wise, how do these sound? That is probably the most wanted question. These sound super clear. Now, I admit that the bass, they're not the bassiest unless you're using them wired. If you're using them wired, without the amplifier on, it's a completely different thing. These are mostly a V-shaped, heavy bass kind of sounding. I am just plain wired without the amplifier. When you use the amplifier, whether it's C or whether it's using it wireless, it's a little different. The bass is there. Then they shut off by themselves. It's more toward neutral, I would say. Yeah, I would say it's kind of neutral. There is some impact. There is some rumble there. There's enough there. Maybe it's a little north of neutral. Decent overall texture and everything. The bass kind of does sound like you're listening to an album. Everybody always says vinyl. It's a record album. You're listening to a record album. Mid-range is super clear. The lowers are really good. Just decent body in the lowers. The uppers are very bright. Very, very clear. Sharp details. Can get a little spicy depending on what you're listening to and depending on what volume you have it at. It does get to be a little bit, and they are forward. They're not like in your face forward, but the combination of the forwardness and the upper brightness, and there's brighter treble too. So that may not be for everybody. These may be too bright for you. If you're looking for a fun sounding one, then just go buy Sony's, JBL, something like that. These are more toward details, brightness, richness in the sound. They're not the most bass heavy. They are very mid-focused. There's very good treble. It's got open, it's got air. There's excellent soundstage. Soundstage is really, really good on these. And that's basically it in a nutshell. Technically, very, very good. Very good technicals on these. Very good details on these. Very good overall presentation of the music. But they are not, I wouldn't call these fun sounding at all. So if you're just listening for more like, an enjoyment, and you want to hear all the different instruments and the separation and everything, then I would say definitely these. Fun-wise, yes, they do become fun sounding if you use them wired. But ultimately, I like the way that they present the music when you're using the amplifier and wireless. That's my favorite mode on these. I think that brightness, and I've heard that from a lot of people. I was just talking to somebody before, and they were telling me they had these, and they ended up selling them or something because they were just too bright for them. Don't go into this thinking these are just another pair and you're going to get all that bass, and they're not for that. These were like kind of made for like people that like to listen to record albums and more audiophile-ish type thing. If you want something more funner that still has good detail and everything, then you would get into like the Bathies. If you want bass, you get into your Sonys or stuff like that, or Bose. These just have really good clarity, really good detail, kind of sharpen some of the details, and just overall kind of a feeling like you're listening to analog, like you're listening to like a record album or something like that, or cassette. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's basically it. So this has been the Ēcoute audio, and I really wish I had a package to show you, but I will see if we can go to the top of the page here if it says it. There you go. This has been the Ēcoute audio, and there's really no name for these, just other than Ēcoute. It's an Ēcoute headphone. if I'm saying that right. I'm sure somebody will tell me if I didn't. And this is a tube amplifier, wireless and wired headphone made out of solid metal. You can't beat the construction, even compared to the Bathies. These are freaking solid. They're made well. They sound super clear, but they do have a lot of brightness to them. Just keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.